I returned to Elkwood because I had no other place to turn. That's the plain truth of it. Stripped bare of pride or pretense. 34 years old, a business management degree that was starting to feel more like a consolation prize than an achievement, and precisely $743 left in my checking account. The eviction notice from my Cheyenne apartment lay folded in the glove compartment, creased from being taken out and refolded over and over during the long drive back. Every time I glanced at it, I hunted for some loophole, some clerical mistake that might erase the last 6 months. There wasn't one. The corporate downsizing at the distribution center had been ruthless. They'd branded it right-sizing, as if the company were an old pair of jeans that simply needed a better fit. 147 positions eliminated, mine included. The severance check kept me afloat for 3 months. The job market in Cheyenne, as it turned out, had zero interest in an inventory manager whose main talent was optimizing warehouse flow for a company that no longer existed. I burned through savings, then credit cards, then whatever scraps of dignity I had left. The drive back to Elkwood took 4 hours. I could have made it in 3, but I kept easing off the gas, as though going slower might somehow reverse the direction my life had taken. Elkwood hadn't gotten any better while I was gone. If anything, the rot had deepened. The town lingered in that peculiar limbo of American small-town collapse. Nothing ever fully dies, yet nothing really lives either. Population 1,247, according to the sun-bleached sign at the edge of town, though I suspected the number was optimistic and years out of date. Main Street was a gallery of rust and empty storefronts, the old movie theater with its marquee letters strewn across the sidewalk like broken teeth. The mining museum shuttered when the grants ran dry. The diner that opened only when Betty Morrison felt up to cooking. The town's history was written in silver. Between 1890 and 1911, the Elkwood Mining Company had torn fortunes out of the ground, swelling the population to nearly 8,000 souls. Then the collapse. The historical marker by the old mine entrance put it bluntly. Cave-in May 3rd, 1911. 47 lost. Mine closed permanently. What the marker left out was how the silver vein had already played out, how the company had scheduled the shutdown for the end of that year anyway, how those 47 men died pulling out wealth that was already planning to abandon them. All the same, the town endured the way dying frontier towns do, through pure, stubborn momentum. It became a wide spot on Highway 287, a place people passed through but almost never stopped. The mine stayed, a labyrinth of tunnels beneath the town like the bones of a body that had forgotten how to move. My parents' house was no longer an option. They'd retired to Phoenix 2 years earlier, selling the place to a young couple from Colorado drunk on dreams of country living. My sister told me they'd lasted 8 months before the loneliness and the wind sent them running back to Boulder. The house stood empty now, another missing tooth on Maple Street. I checked into the Elkwood Motor Lodge, the kind of place that rented by the week and never asked for ID. The room smelled of industrial disinfectant and quiet desperation. I had enough money for 2 weeks, maybe 3 if I quit eating real meals. After that, the decisions I didn't want to face would start making themselves. The job hunt began the next morning. I printed resumes at the library, 10 cents a page, and made the rounds. The hardware store wasn't hiring. The gas station had just given a job to the owner's nephew. The elementary school needed a part-time janitor, but required 6 months of local residency. I was a stranger in my own hometown, gone too long to have contacts, too broke to wait for something that wasn't coming. On the 4th day, I walked into the Super Saver. The store sat on the north edge of town, where Elkwood gave up and turned into sagebrush and wind. It was a huge windowless box of beige concrete and blue corrugated steel, surrounded by a parking lot big enough for 200 cars, but almost always holding fewer than 12. The building was aggressively contemporary, obscenely out of place against the slow-motion ruin of the rest of the town. I'd heard it went up 8 years ago, part of a regional rollout by some bigger chain. Rumor was the town council had handed out massive tax breaks, frantic for any sign of economic life. It ran 24 hours, a fortress of fluorescent light in a town that otherwise went dark by 9. I'd never set foot inside. I'd left Elkwood before it opened, and on the rare trips home, I'd avoided it out of some smug loyalty to local businesses that no longer existed. The automatic doors sighed open, and I stepped into a cathedral of retail. The ceiling soared impossibly high. The floor gleamed like it had just been waxed. The aisles stretched in perfect parallel lines toward a distant back wall. Everything was spotless, obsessively ordered. Muzak drifted from hidden speakers, something soft and instantly forgettable. Maybe half a dozen customers wandered the vast space, tiny figures dwarfed by the architecture of consumption. A weary woman studied cereal boxes in aisle 3. An old man pushed a cart containing nothing but a single bag of dog food. The scale of the place made them look like the last survivors of some commercial rapture, abandoned in a temple built for crowds that never arrived. I found the customer service counter near the entrance. A teenager with dramatic eyeliner and a name tag that read Ashley was scrolling on her phone. "Can I help you?" she asked without looking up. "I'd like to apply for a job. Any openings?" "Kiosks over there." She tilted her head toward a corner where a dusty computer terminal waited. "Or just do it online. Same thing." I spent 20 minutes filling out the application. My qualifications looked ridiculous next to the listed positions. Card attendant, cashier, overnight stalker. I checked all 3, put the motel address, and hit submit. The system promised someone would contact me if I was a match. I was halfway to my car when my phone buzzed. Local area code. "Is this Wyatt Carter?" The voice was crisp, female, polished with corporate neutrality. "Yes, Dorothy Granger, store manager, Super Saver Elkwood. I'm looking at your application. 5 years inventory management experience at Mountain State Distribution. I manage the whole... Can you come back inside? I have 15 minutes before a district conference call. We can talk about the overnight stalker position." The line went dead. The break room was aggressively beige. Walls, table, humming refrigerator, all the same shade of institutional nothing. A poster about proper hand washing hung beside another about reporting workplace injuries. The fluorescent lights buzzed faintly, like a dying insect trapped behind the panels. Dorothy Granger sat across from me, posture perfect. A folder opened between us. Mid-40s, dark hair tortured into a bun so tight it looked painful. Navy store-branded blazer, white shirt pressed into submission. Minimal makeup, no jewelry except a plain watch. She didn't blink nearly often enough. "Your resume is overqualified," she said, "but your circumstances make you ideal." She said it without inflection, as if reading from a script she'd delivered many times. Motel address, employment gap of 6 months. Applied for every open position at once. You need this job. Need breeds reliability. It should have felt invasive. Instead, it felt like the first honest thing anyone had said to me in months. Overnight stalker, Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., $17 an hour. Benefits after 90 days. Primary duties, receiving deliveries, stocking shelves, maintaining floor appearance, simple work. She slid a laminated card across the table. Credit card sized, rounded corners, professional printing. Header in bold, night shift protocols, mandatory compliance. I scanned the list. Restricted aisles during certain hours, stockroom access limitations, inventory verification rules, customer interaction guidelines, standard big box stuff, or so it looked. "Pretty detailed," I said, trying to sound casual. "Detailed because it's necessary. Safety, accuracy, loss prevention. The overnight shift operates independently. These protocols ensure consistency." She folded her hands. "Daniel followed them for 5 years without issue. He transferred to our Billings location last month. Management track. The position opened unexpectedly. Protocol 6 caught my eye. If you hear knocking, scratching, or voices from within the main stockroom between 3-hour a.m. and 5-hour a.m., do not investigate. Acknowledge the sound and continue working. Why would there be knocking if nobody else is here? Building settling. Ventilation. The structure is large. It makes unexpected noises. The protocol prevents wasted time and keeps you focused." She watched me with unblinking eyes. "It's a straightforward job with straightforward rules, Mr. Carter. Do you want it?" I thought about the motel room, the bank balance, the complete absence of alternatives. I thought about calling my sister for money I could never repay, or my parents whose retirement I refused to touch. I thought about the degree now worth less than the paper it was printed on. "Yes," I said. "I want the job." "Excellent." She produced a tablet, opened a document. Basic employment agreement. Sign here, here, and here. I signed. She stood at once, offering a cool, firm handshake. "First shift Sunday at 10 p.m. Use the delivery bay entrance on the north side after midnight. Keep the protocol card. Memorize it." She walked me to the door. "Welcome to Super Saver, Mr. Carter. I trust you'll find the work manageable." Sunday came. The days in between were a fog of relief laced with a dread I couldn't name. I bought steel-toe boots at the thrift store, flipped my sleep schedule, lived on ramen and gas station burritos. I studied the protocol card until the rules felt reasonable. Restricted aisles for cleaning, stockroom timing to match deliveries, verification to prevent shrinkage. Normal corporate paranoia dressed up as policy. At 9:45 p.m., I pulled into the empty ocean of parking lot. The store glowed against the night, every light blazing. The wind rolled down from the mountains carrying sage and cold. Somewhere a dog barked once and fell silent. I went around to the delivery bay. The metal door was unlocked. A small vestibule led to a time clock and lockers. My name was already taped to locker 7. Inside hung a blue Super Saver vest and a name tag, Wyatt, night shift. I clocked in at 9:58 and pushed through the double doors onto the sales floor. The store at night was a different animal. Empty of even the pretense of customers, it became something vast and theatrical. The lights hummed at a frequency I felt in my molars. The air smelled of floor wax and sterile nothing. 40,000 square feet, and I was the only living soul inside. The break room clipboard held my checklist. Receive 2 a.m. delivery, stock shipment, verify assigned aisles, maintain floor standards. Simple. I'd run more complex operations blindfolded. I slipped the protocol card into my pocket, grabbed a box cutter and scanner, and started my first circuit. The night stretched ahead, huge, humming, patient. I didn't yet understand that I was no longer just an employee. I was the audience of one, and the show was about to start.